Okay, let's be honest for a second. We've been hearing about AI assistants for years, right? But they've all got the same problem. They can talk, they can search, they can even write a pretty good email. But when you need them to actually do something, anything, they just can't. Well, that's all about to change.
I mean, really think about that. Every chatbot you've ever used is stuck in a conversation. It's a talking head. So here's the big question. What if AI could actually do things? What if it could take real actions in your systems for your customers on your behalf?
Let me just show you. A customer asks a totally normal question. Where is my order? Now, a chatbot would just point to a generic FAQ page, but this is different. This AI, all by itself, connects to your internal database. Then it pings an external shipping API like FedEx's to get the live location, and boom, it gives the customer a real-time tracking link. No human clicked a single button, it just did it.
What you just saw isn't just a smarter chatbot. It's a totally new kind of AI. It's called an agent, and this tech is from Amazon Bedrock. The absolute best way to think about it is this. It's AI with hands and feet. It can finally orchestrate complex tasks, call APIs, and actually interact with your systems, completely on its own.
This is more than just an update. It's a whole new way of thinking about AI. We're making a huge shift from AI that just knows stuff to AI that actually does stuff.
And this right here is the core idea you need to get. On one side, you have knowledge bases. This is the AI we're used to, right? It's an AI that knows things. It's fantastic at digging through your private documents to find an answer. But on the other side, you have agents. This is the future. It's an AI that does things. It executes actions and makes its own decisions.
But here's the really cool part. They're not separate. They work together. An agent can first dip into a knowledge base to look up your company's official return policy. Then, once it knows the rules, it can take the next step and actually process a refund for a customer. See? It's that combo of knowing and doing that is so incredibly powerful.
So you might be wondering, how does it think? Well, it runs through this super simple but effective loop. First, it gets a request from a user. Then it thinks. It breaks the problem down into smaller steps. Then it acts by calling an API or one of its tools. After that, it observes the result of that action to see what happened. And then it just repeats that cycle over and over until the job is done. And the best part, Bedrock manages all this complexity for you.
Okay, so what does it actually take to build one of these things? Let's pop the hood and look at the Agents Toolkit. You're probably going to be surprised by how straightforward the pieces are. So there are really just 4 building blocks. First up, the foundation model. That's the brain, something powerful like Claude 3. Next, you give it instructions. This is its personality, its rules of the road. Third, and this is the most important one, you give it action groups. These are its tools, its actual capabilities. And finally, you can give it knowledge bases, which are basically an optional long-term memory.
But I want you to remember this one thing. Without action groups, it is just a chatbot. That's it. This one piece is what gives the AI its hands and feet. This is what lets it do things.
So let's zoom in on that idea, because this is where your code meets the AI. This is how we build that bridge between the AI's brain and your actual business logic. So an action group is just a set of capabilities that you define. It's like you're handing the agent a toolbox. The magic is that the agent looks at what the user wants and figures out for itself which tool to pull out of the box. You don't have to tell it.
And here is the real game changer. For anyone who writes code, you do not have to rewrite all your business logic. Your existing code, maybe sitting in an AWS Lambda function, still does all the actual work. The agent's only job is to be the smart operator that decides when to push the button on your function.
And this table shows you exactly how it thinks. If a user asks, "Where is my package?" the agent scans its tools and says, "Aha, the get order status function is perfect for this." If they say, "My item showed up broken," it knows to grab the create support ticket tool instead. It's like a master craftsman, always picking the exact right tool for the job at hand.
All right, enough theory. Let's actually build one. We're going to go through a quick blueprint to get an autonomous agent up and running. And hey, if you think this skill is going to be a game changer for your career, well, you're right. Now would be a perfect time to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Seriously, you can do this in about 5 minutes inside the Bedrock console. You start by creating the agent, you give it a name, and you pick a solid model like Claude 3 Sonnet. Then you write some simple instructions, like you are a friendly customer service assistant. Then you define what it can do. You create an action like get_order status. You point that action to your code, and you're ready to test. It's that fast.
And what about the code part? It's way simpler than you might think. The agent just sends a little signal, an event, over to your code. All your code has to do is catch that event, grab the info it needs, like an order ID, do its work, and then send a response back in the format the agent is expecting. That's really it.
Okay, moment of truth. Let's give it a test prompt. What's the status of order 12345? Now we get to watch the magic happen. The agent is going to think about the request, pick the right function, call our code, get the result back, and then figure out how to say it in a helpful way.
And just like that, you did it. You just built a piece of autonomous AI that can reason and then take a meaningful action. That is a massive leap beyond a simple chatbot. And if you just had that whoa moment, go ahead and smash that like button.
Of course, let's be real. It doesn't always work perfectly the first time. So let's talk about a pro tip for when your agent starts acting weird and you need to figure out why.
This feature is called Traces, and it is an absolute lifesaver. It basically gives you X-ray vision into the AI's entire thought process, so you can see every single decision it made along the way. A trace breaks down the whole operation into 5 clear stages. It starts with pre-processing, where it's just trying to understand what you asked. Then orchestration, where it makes a plan. Next is invocation. That's when it actually calls your code. It follows that with observation, where it looks at the results. And finally, post-processing, where it figures out the final answer for the user. You can see exactly what it was thinking, step by step.
And we've really just scratched the surface. These agents can do so much more. They can remember the context of a conversation so you don't have to repeat yourself. They can do action chaining, like check an inventory, then reserving an item, then creating the order, all in one go, completely autonomously. And like we talked about, they can mix knowledge bases and actions to create some truly mind-blowing automations.
So, you did it. You built an agent, not a chatbot. But is it ready for the real world? Is it safe to put in front of customers? Because shipping an autonomous agent without the right safety rails is a recipe for disaster. We're talking data leaks, security holes, big problems. In our next explainer, we're covering that final, crucial piece, guardrails. If you've made it this far, you're serious. So make sure you're subscribed with the bell on so you don't miss it. And I really want to know, drop a comment. What's the first thing you would build with an agent like this?